to enhance their capacity and also the opportunity. And the other one is talking about the training and capacity building. Sometimes in the South countries, we have a limited access to experience, limited access to the training, and also limited access to experienced mentors that can help us to guide us to support us as young emerging evaluators to be professional evaluators in the development industries. And I think to overcome that gaps, we need also to put a message to international, let's say, governments or public sector or civil society. Please simplify the bureaucratic process to make easier YE to participate in the evaluations, and also we also need to our uniqueness, as we know that we as a young persons, we have fresh perspective and innovations, right? And we can bring new creative idea and approaches in evaluations. We can introduce, if we are good in using and utilize the advanced data collections or analysis tools, we can help the older one to collecting the data during the evaluation process, like such as some mobile surveys, geospatial analysis, or we can use business analytics or big data analytics. And then we as young persons also can promote evaluation literacy through social media like LinkedIn, Instagram, or and else. And then we also can actively contribute to evaluations community or platform like EvalYouth chapters, EvalYouth Malaysia if you are in Malaysia, or Pacific if you are in the Pacific, and Indonesia we also have, but not yet reactivated at this time. So yeah, I think we can over that contributions through that platform. And also for me, I've been involved in evaluation since 2009. I started my role as an enumerator, collecting the data in the field and then conducting regular monitoring. And then currently, I am mostly supporting in the internal team at C4 to data analysis and program design to secure funding, like designing a theory of change, and then logical framework, and also set up the indicators of the program or the project, and then design the M&E framework. I can share that I have been engaged with project with various issues, gender equity or social inclusions, and child protections, education, health, human rights, as well as environmental sustainability and also economic empowerment. It's a so broad experience to chip in, to involve in, but I suggest if you have a specific educational background, you can choose one that align with or you are the most interested in, because in the end of the day, you need to sharpen your expertise in some, even in evaluations we can go from issue to issues. I think that's I will share another specific information after this round. Over to you, Nabila.
All right. Okay. Thanks, Monica. It is so interesting that she started from remunerator and then now become a Amelia specialist. The journey of it is something that people might think numerator is a simple task, but it's not. It can brings you to another opportunity that you can expand it into. And the fact that despite with the resources on in terms of the expertise in Indonesia, which can be quite plenty, but there's still the gaps of how the training is being provided by the government, and the work has been done heavily on the civil society. That's how we can see. I think it can be linked to the most of the situations in other countries too. So moving then to Sakeo himself. So what do you think, Sakeo? How is it even different in the Fiji situation, or it's just it's the same? It's the same situation everywhere. And what have you done so far in your own context in Pacific region? So yeah, over to you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Nabila. Good evening to colleagues joining online. Pacific greetings to all of you, and Misambulo Vinaka, as we say in Fiji. My name is Sakya Mode, and I'm a co-leader of EvalYouth Pacific. And EvalYouth Pacific is a network of young and emerging evaluators across the Pacific Island countries, and we have members, about more than 100 members in the network. And in today's sharing, since I'm from Fiji, I'll probably limit myself with the context of Fiji and talk about what EvalYouth Pacific is doing especially for us Fijian members in terms of advocacy, youth inclusion in evaluation. In the context of Fiji, Fiji is still a small island developing state, and we have about 900,000 population, not yet reached the 1 million population size. And our youth populations, according to our last national census, is around 32%. And this is the largest group of people when we look at the population size. And Fiji is using the Westminster governance systems. We have a parliament and we have a government. And we all have, in governments, we have a ministry called the Ministry of Finance that plan the budgets and also monitor the programs across the governments, as far as we know, as a citizen or nationals in Fiji. And in terms of evaluations from our desktop review and from our assessments from our networks, we still did not have the national evaluation systems. We do not have a national evaluation policy yet, and we did not have a defined standards and norms yet. And this also goes to the civil society spaces. It's still donor-driven. Every evaluation that are done by the non-government organization is still using the standards and the norms of evaluations according to the guidelines of the donors and whenever the donor wants to conduct the evaluations. And although I think there's hope here in Fiji, with the current government, we've heard our national leaders committed in Parliament or talked about the importance of evaluating programs in Parliament. And I think that has been the hope for young people, especially young and emerging evaluators who are part of EvalYouth Pacific. We were established in 2019. A group of young people came together, and we thought that we reflect on our experiences that we didn't have a formal training on monitoring and evaluations from universities. We were studying other things such as public health, Bachelor of Commerce, mathematics, etc. There's no university in Fiji that provides monitoring and evaluation as a standalone course. Even in the Southern Hemisphere, the whole of Southern Hemisphere, the only university that provides evaluation course is University of Melbourne, Masters of Evaluations. So for us, we recognize and acknowledge the challenges that some of us practitioners of monitoring evaluations or evaluation practitioners face, that we just have to learn on the job or learn from the internet or attend webinars, sessions, go overseas and attend seminars. conferences to learn evaluations. So as you can see, the ecosystem here in Fiji is still developing. The evaluation ecosystem is still developing. There's a lot of advocacy from young people. The good thing, though, that not only civil society, government as well, the tone of public engagement, conversations, national dialogue, etc., and in practice as well, they are already advocating. They are already make sure that young people, like any other vulnerable groups, such as women, people living with disabilities, are included in development. And right from the get-go, when we are advocating for youth inclusion in evaluation, we are also asking for youth participation and engagement in evaluation. It could be their engagement to be part of the evaluation team, that whenever the organization commissioner an evaluation, to make sure that the composition of a team to budget for an inclusion of young and emerging evaluators to be part of the evaluation team. So in the long term, in the long run, it sort of builds their capacity and they're able to be assistant evaluators in years to come. Because at the moment, the current status quo, we usually have, but in my observations, whenever evaluation are called, we usually get evaluation experts from overseas because they meet the requirement. They have been doing the evaluation ever since 1997, 1980s, etc. in the Pacific, and of course they know. So to change the status quo, I think what EvalYouth Pacific is doing right from the get-go, when we our evaluation ecosystem is still developing, we are advocating for young people to be part of the evaluation team. And also, we're also, because it's, like I said, we are hopeful that the future is bright for us, because already in the developing space, the government, the NGO, civil society spaces are making sure that they include young people. So in their program planning, program design, perhaps because of our demographic profile, majority of us of the population in Fiji are young people in the communities. So they make sure that they consult. At the national level, we have a reactivated National Youth Council. Some of them are part of the EvalYouth Pacific, and we use them as our alliance to make sure that they also advocate for evaluation and the importance of evaluation, because we always say that the future is ours as young people. And in order for us to make sure that there's a brighter future, we need to always apply the evaluative thinking of the current project and program to make sure that change is happening and transformative change is happening, and it's having a positive impact to the lives of people, so that in the future, it's brighter. So that is the current ecosystem. And EvalYouth Pacific, I guess to conclude, is doing advocacy. We have members who are part of the National Youth Councils. We have members who are working in governments, who are working in NGOs, and we have been telling them about the importance of making sure that young people are part of the evaluation team. And also, we celebrate with them. We do recognize and acknowledge them for their commitment to make sure that young people is included in their development process, from planning, policy of planning process, consultation, planning, and also in evaluation whenever there's chances for them to do evaluation. Thank you so much. I'll stop here to respect other people who are going to share their beat. Thank you.
Thanks, Akil. It is interesting without national evaluation policy, but I guess the solidarity was so strong that you guys ensure that it's no longer a donor-driven type of evaluation, and the youth needs to be in part of the decision making. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's right. In fact, I'd also like to acknowledge the Pacific community. That is one of our regional communities, technical regional organization. They established a project called Pacific MEL, and in this project, they make sure that they connect together, and we leverage on our culture about unity, about working together in a communal way, about sharing opportunities, and work and move together as we develop. Thank you.
All right, okay, we would like to hear more from Sakio because the solidarity part is really interesting and we would like to dig more after this for the second session. So we move to Hajar. So Hajar, as for situation in Malaysia, I think since we have I think we share the same feeling, the same notion of what happening. But maybe because we are not relatively really quite close to the same background as you are more in depth in humanitarian. So how you yourself as a young evaluators see this kind of gaps in the public sector and civil society when talking about evaluation? So yes, the floor is yours.
Thank you for introducing me, Nabila. Thank you also for considering Wisdom Malaysia as the panelist, and I am very honored to be able to join this event organized by EvalYouth. I believe the other speakers have mentioned a lot of key points about the question. And I also would like to emphasize that when we talk about the collaboration or cooperation between the civil society organizations and also ourselves as the public sector, coherence is one of the evaluation criteria based on this is from OECD and DAC, the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, and also Development Assistance Committee, DAC, where they have outlined about 6 evaluation criteria, and one of them is coherence. So I have seen report from Sustainability Development Goals, the SDG, their annual report. And for the last year, we have seen how each country in the world has reported their kind of achievements and also their gaps so far against each of the 17 SDGs. For Malaysia particularly, for the Malaysian states, we have achieved such achievement in several of the goals under the SDG, and I've seen this can be a kickstart for evaluation for the public sector and also the civil society to look upon the SDG goals, because as they outline, the SDG is actually a collective responsibility for everyone, for all tiers, government, private sectors, public, the states. So and also they have done this kind of assessment where they have seen from the achievement so far for each of the goals under the SDG, there is some kind of a gap, especially in Malaysia context, between the urban and rural. It can be like for urban location, they can achieve these such goals. For example, goal number 2, but for the urban, but the rural, they have a very low score marks in goal 2. So I've seen if we dig into this annual report, it can give some kind of a new lens for the civil society or the public sector to look upon and develop their evaluation criteria according to the indicator outlined in the 70 SDGs. This is just an example, a very kind of a solution that I can provide. And so I think that's enough to talk about the concern. But how about the solution so far for Malaysia particularly? I've seen some CSOs have putting so much effort to integrate the youth in their programs, in their conference, in their workshop, and also particularly forming a designated group of youth, for example, in the delegation, to serve to the society, or providing the platform for the youth to be the voice of the youth. However, there is still some lack of exposure given to the youth for them to be a part of the policy making and also in program evaluations. I think Sakeo mentioned that there's still less exposure were given in especially in opportunities like a special course, just focusing on the monitoring and evaluation, especially in Malaysia. I kind of really seeing such courses were provided in education institution or university. But from my experience, I think final project topics when the youth are undergoing the degree studies, their final project topics can become their kickstart in gaining experience in evaluation, because in final projects there needs to collect data, there needs to be very problem solving kind of thinking, so they have to get that kind of exposure and skills, so in final projects can become the first step in evaluation. Like for Mercy Malaysia, as you asked about what is our organization, kind of how we provide or kind of giving the interest for the youth, and even our staff. So we always open for volunteering opportunities to students to do their internship. Even me myself, I start my career in monitoring and evaluation as an intern in Mercy Malaysia. So we actually can ask or give the space for the youth to be a part of the evaluation work that we are doing for the organization. As simple as doing the data collection or becoming the enumerator, or becoming a translator. So as simple as that task can give a little exposure for them to acquire how actually the evaluation works, and acquire them basic skills and knowledge in program evaluations, which I believe there are some NGOs or CSOs who have done this, and I'm really looking forward for this good initiative to proliferate more in future. I think that's it for the first session.
Thanks so much, Hajar. So yes, I can see everywhere needs to start somewhere. So as for you yourself, you have gone through an intern for Mercy. That's why how you have built yourself currently right now as part of the MNE and the youth in Malaysia. So it's a long journey for, I think, almost everyone. We need to start somewhere. So I guess moving on to the second session, where I want to deep dive into more like what you guys have been doing, what your thoughts and any recommendations. So maybe we can start first with Monica. So two questions for you, Monica, on MNE and you, and how we can mind the gap between the civil society and public. So the first one, when you mentioned about like workshops, training that needs to be done, is there any specific approach, like what type of workshop that should be exposed to young evaluators? And what do you think the benefits from these type of approaches that we are going to take to? And the second questions, in your line of work, I think you have collaborated with various donors, partners, and even some of it the government that you need to work with, and research institutions. So what are some of their expectations in regarding of the role of evaluation, and how you juggle between these different demands and priorities from all these stakeholders? Because you need to have the belief in yourself, like to have more young evaluators to be in this field of what you are doing, which is climate, biodiversity. So you want to create more sustainable future for young evaluators, but how you yourself as a young evaluators, you need to juggle with all these expectations of different stakeholders. So if you can explain more based on these questions. So over to you, Monica.
Okay, thanks, Bila. I hope I can remember that questions. I try to answer one by one. Maybe starting from what workshop or capacity building that
Yeah.
we can assess, or we can yeah, we can reach out. I think when you are in an early career, maybe you can attach to the senior one. It's better to discuss or grab some suggestion from the senior one, or like-minded people, like we are in the EvalYouth chapter. You can discuss with peer how to starting your before that one. I think you should knowing yourself, the strength that you have, or the weakness you need to improve. So you can start looking for the workshop or capacity building based on your needs. For examples, if you would like to involve in evaluations process in data collections, what skill set that you should have to involve in, or maybe for data analysis, or maybe you would like to uh, uh, involved in the design process, what skill set that you need. So please, you can looking for a skill set or capacity building based on your needs. I believe that everyone have a different needs on that capacity building, because we come from diverse background, and in terms of the benefits, I can suggest that take advantage from the informations around the social media. Whenever there is a scholarship for conference or workshop for young people, like we got in last year in Manila. We have a winter school from Asia Pacific Evolution Association, so we can register and our uniqueness and our contributions to this field, these evaluations, graduate fast, and then after that workshop or conference, you can have a network, and then you can leverage your expertise, or your your capacity amongst that platforms. I think and what benefit why it can over. I think as I mentioned before, we have fresh perspective, creative and innovations, and also we have more time and energy more than older. So yeah, use it productively to invest in your capacity. Focus on the capacity first, then the opportunity. If we have the lack of capacity, the lack of opportunity, lack of everything, focus on our capacity first, and knowing yourself which area that you need to improve. Then you discuss with the senior, and discuss with the peer or like-minded people. I believe that it can open your access or open your journey to the evaluations. And in terms of the uh, the
The different
young
stakeholders.
yeah, the second one, I try
Yeah.
to remember the second questions
How you
related.
juggle between different stakeholders, because you are young evaluators, you need to kind of like please the different stakeholders of government, different donors, partners. So you as a young evaluators, how you manage to do that? Yeah.
Yeah, as Bila mentioned, that I have experience working closely with governments at various levels, international governments, and also CSO and research institute or university. Of course, they have different interests and expectations about evaluations. I can say that governments may focus more short-term result, and they want us to support their public policy or development program. And the international donors tends to emphasize the importance of evidence-based evaluations or the impact story, or then focus on the sustainability and accountability. And in the other hand, the university or research institute like C4 as well, and academics usually prioritize the scientific validity, theoretical contributions, or contributions to academic and policy literature. And the CSO have another interest and point of view. They focus on the missions promotion of social justice, sustainable development, community empowerment, like ensuring effort and responsive to their the needs of their target audience or beneficiaries. So what we can do is to recognize their interests and the point of view. When we are as evaluators, we during the kickoff or during the process of design, we should know very well what is their interest and what is their point of view on the evaluations and what their expectation on the result of the evaluations. That's and having evaluators, yes, of course, young people have. I believe that we have will have accelerating impact and sustainability. But again, depends on the recognition, involvement, opportunity, collaboration mechanism, the capacity that we have. And at C4 Aircraft, we are going to collaborate with university to invite university students to who are interested in evaluation for internship. And as Haja mentioned, that internship is maybe can expose as a way to expose young people to starting their journey in evaluations, and to get career opportunity in evaluation field in the future. I think I will stop here and then give the floor for another.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Monica. Okay, so based on Monica's situation itself, their challenges is still to actually manage the expectation and different type of ways that need to handle. And I guess the diverse challenges also quite linked to what Sekeo is having right now, because I think that the Pacific region, it have a lot of uniqueness itself. So given with these diverse challenges in Pacific region, even though it's quite a big population of youth, so it can have different types of ways or strategies that needs to be done. So any examples of the partnerships and the strategy that have been proven successful that you have done so far? Because I heard just now about the solidarity in terms of having every young evaluators needs to be in and strengthen the evaluation capacity in the Pacific region itself. So that's a question first on how any examples that you can share with us in terms of the strategies and partnerships, not only for the EvalYouth, but EvalYouth together with others. And also in what ways this international and regional partnership can actually develop a sustainable evaluation ecosystem in the Pacific, so that we not only in Malaysia but all across the globe can learn from the Pacific region, because your approach might be more unique and might be something that we kind of like we should implement in our own way also. So yeah, over to you, Sekeo.
Yeah, thank you, Nabila. Very interesting story from Monica as well. Great questions. Yes, the Pacific region and in Fiji, our situation is unique, really, because we are developing countries. Our population size, most of it young people. A huge bulk of it is belongs to youth group, and at our communities scattered across the islands. We are a small island nations, but bigger in oceans, etc. So the logistical part of it, in terms of providing services, there's a lot of complexities there as well. So I think and that in itself gives encourage governments, encourage civil society organization to try and be innovative, to try and learn from their experiences and learn from evidence in terms of what is working well, whether the programs or the policies in place are effective or efficient, whether it's relevant and it meets the needs of the populations that we are serving, the communities. And in Fiji, our population profile in terms of ethnicities quite interesting as well. And I think we are the metropolitan country in the Pacific because we have a huge, almost half of our populations belongs to Fijians of Indian descendants as well. So the situation is very unique. And in terms of asking ourselves, responding to the needs of the people and asking ourselves whether we are addressing their needs, whether we are actually saving lives, whether we're actually transforming lives for the better. I think that has been the questions that everyone often asks in the workplaces, and therefore gives a sense of urgency to make sure that there's evidence, the decisions are made with evidence, and evaluation is something that, as I've said before, is still developing. Although I think government is doing well in terms of review, they consult with everybody, reviewing their records, reviewing their progresses, achievement, challenges, and opportunities. But we know that mainstream evaluation, the definitions of it is to make sure that it is impartial and systematic, and there's a national evaluation system in place. And it not happening haphazardly. So, and that I think will take another years to come, but for the moment it's still developing, and we are encouraged by the commitment. We are encouraged by the tone of the dialogue that are happening at the national level. Already our national leaders are talking about the importance of evaluation. Already our civil society leaders are talking about the importance of evaluation. So for us at EvalYouth Pacific, understanding and recognizing and acknowledging this context is important for us. And we are preparing ourselves in terms of the supply-driven side of things. So the national demands are already starting the demands are already starting to grow. So we are already looking at the supply side of the equations, making sure that we organize ourselves together as a group of young and emerging evaluators, hence the establishment of EvalYouth Pacific. And we have members from government organizations, we have members from civil society organizations, we have members from development partners, international, regional, and also university students. And I think this is important for us. And then we came together, we connect, we thankful to EvalYouth Pacific, provide us a platform to collaborate and exchange ideas for advocacy. And we do trainings, we do a lot of trainings, and we're working with, and we're not only intentional with our membership, we're also working very closely in partnership with the UN agencies such as UNFPA. We're also working in collaboration with SPC. We are working in partnership with other development firms such as Talanoa Consultancy. Some of these organizations, development firms, agencies, they provide opportunities for capacity building opportunities. They provide spaces for knowledge sharings and dialogue conversation to happen. And that has been really great for us in terms of making sure that we contributes to the development of our national evaluation ecosystem. There have been training, we have plans, we have a strategic planning document for EvalYouth Pacific, and a group from EvalYouth Pacific have moved on to be part of the Fiji Mal community of practice, and we make sure that we continue to advocate the importance of evaluation as an accelerator to the achievement of sustainable development goals, not only at the national level, at the community level, because then when they do evaluation, they are really going to generate evidence that are objectives that not only inspire them to ask questions about whether their program has been effective and efficient, sustainability, it will continue, the target population will benefit for a longer period of time, regardless if there's a humanitarian crisis going on. Not only that, they are also going to, with the evaluation, it gives them what we call recommendations, way forward for improvement, etc., for the programming to adapt and make sure that they are really effective, that if they continue to be relevant, that the intervention continues to be relevant, meet the needs of the target population, etc. So in a long and roundabout way, that is the context, that is the work that the partnership that EvalYouth Pacific is doing, and the strategies, capacity building, knowledge sharing, linking opportunities, etc. Thank you.
I can see actually you're already like telling us like what is your sustainability plan for the next 5-10 years for EvalYouth Pacific, which is good. And the fact that EvalYouth Pacific is not heavily reliant on too much by the partnership by the UN agencies, much trying to be like safe reliant. That's already telling that the plan is to actually to gather all as much of young evaluators to try to get themselves how to generate more trainings and everything, so that can push for the national evaluation policies. That's a good thing to see. Anything else, Sakio? You want to add?
That's true, and I think I attribute that to the because of our network, the vibrancy. We did not have any funds, but because of the passionates and the enthusiasm there are from our members, we are in the what we call a WhatsApp group. We have members across the Pacific Island countries. We have email addresses of our members that we do share opportunities, we do dialogue, we do connect people to opportunity conferences, capacity building opportunities, and that
so there is no like gatekeeping or whatever. Everyone is very everyone
that's a
is
good thing about the network.
Go all ahead for being transparent on the opportunities. That's what we want. There's no longer type of gatekeeping on the informations or anything. So what we want to see in the whole whole society of evaluators itself. Thanks, Akio. And moving to Hajar for yourself as a young evaluators, in a Malaysian context, how can we could see informal training or on-job experiences within CSO can be leveraged to enhance the evaluation skills of young evaluators, especially not only in young evaluators in public sectors, it can be in the CSO itself. So we can see more integrated approach for evaluation policies and practices, because I think Malaysia, we way back in having like how we can see all these young evaluators can be polished up from having like informal training on job experiences. And as for the second question, how do you see Mercy, Malaysia itself as established CSOs, progress from monitoring and move to monitoring and evaluation? Because back then we only focus on monitoring without thinking about more about evaluation. Now monitoring evaluation needs to come together. So how it was done also to increase the staff capacity in evaluation, especially among young evaluators like yourself. So yes, over to you.
Sorry. Thank you, Nabila, for the two questions. So for the first one, how can informal training or on-the-job experience can enhance evaluation skills in young professional? I can say informal training best work when you are working together with an expert in evaluation themselves, because from there you can get direct knowledge, direct experience, direct resources from the experts there, because that's how we do in Mercy Malaysia, where um how we expand from there is actually from monitoring and evaluation to monitoring, evaluation, accountability, and learning is through working together with external consultant who can provide us more meaningful and resourceful knowledges and skills. Other than that, actually, despite when we talk about informal training, please be aware that there are a lot of e-learning opportunities or platform which is free. You don't need to pay anything. Okay. I'm the one of the key active users of e-learning platform, because it's really resourceful, and also you can regard that platform as a tool for you to determine the why factor, why you want to venture yourself in evaluation. That's the most basic question that you need to answer yourselves. Why you want to venture yourself in evaluation, why you want to venture yourself in policy making. Get the why factor. So how I got this to be answered is from diving myself in e-learning platform. There are numerous free platforms from United Nations. They have given or provided a free platform, such as I can list out UN Women, Escape, UN Economic and Social Commission for Asia and Pacific, ESCAP, UNDSA. Other than UN platform, you can use other humanitarian free e-learning platform, which is Disaster Ready, Kaya Connect. I am their key users because there are a lot of knowledge and resources that you can leverage of them for you to know anything about monitoring and evaluation in project. There are a specific costs for particularly for that. But there are also like some things that is not free, which I use also for me to gain more knowledge in evaluation. I join coaching opportunities, workshop, which you can easily get the list of that from this website called reliefweb.int. Just search monitoring and evaluation, they will list out all the training that is for formal training lah. Online or face to face, depends if you are physically there. If not, you can just join online. Informal training also you can get by choosing your mentor. Okay, this is very important. Who, like myself, I have my list of who is my mentor in monitoring and evaluation. So you need to know who is the one that is very suitable for you to ask question, or you want to get or to grasp your understanding and skills in any topics that you are still having ambiguity or curiosity in it. Ask your mentor. It doesn't need to be online, or it doesn't need to be someone you have known. You can get your mentor by online. You can go do networking online. I always use this LinkedIn. So I will just approach a person that I feel inspired due to their experiences and knowledge. So I will approach them respectfully and introduce myself. And share my intention of having that person, he or she, as my mentor. Do it respectfully to them. I am for sure they are very willing to share their knowledges if you know approach them respectfully and you know. So the men please have the mentor, because you cannot just learn through e-learning. It's not sufficient. You need to have a proper guru or teacher for you to be taught about what is monitoring and evaluation, because evaluation is about practicing the knowledge and theories. It's not just learning the theory. Theories itself is not sufficient. You need to do it. You need to practice this. Eventually, you will fly high. And for the second question, how Mercy progressed from monitoring and evaluation to monitoring to monitoring and evaluation. Currently, we are doing monitoring, evaluation, accountability, and learning, which is MIL. Okay, so for Miss Malaysia itself, I started, as I said, I shared before this, I started my experience in MNE since my internship in Miss Malaysia. It was my first time hearing these two words, because it's very foreign to me before this, because I took my studies in health science and never heard of these two words. But since then, I learned a lot what is these two components, and Mercy Malaysia started the as the MNE during the early years of Mercy Malaysia, and was expanded to MIL, Monitoring, Evaluation, Accountability and Learning, during the pandemic actually, because we found that learning and accountability component as a huge topic during the COVID-19. Because if you remember, during COVID-19, we need to do a lot of adjustment. We need to learn how to do our work in a different setting, in the pandemic setting, instead of like a normal setting. So these two components, it's a very huge topic during COVID-19. So we see that as a new lens when we do our work. And we taken the initiative to evaluate our humanitarian response during COVID-19, especially in Malaysia, because we responded quite a lot and actively. So we evaluate our responses through by producing an accountability reporting. I was a part of the team, and personally myself, including the organization, have learned a lot throughout this work. Especially relating to evaluation, because we work with an expert who have more than 20 years experiences in evaluation, Miss Uma Narayanan. I credited personally my capacity enhancements in monitoring and evaluations to her, because through the collaboration, I've got exposed with resources, with tools, what kind of evaluation criteria that we need to look, what are the components, what are the pillars in evaluation. So I learned all the bit of it from her. But in the accountability lens, because that particular report is focusing on accountability. So that's how we expanded to it. So we see accountability to how we deliver our work to the people who are affected with the disaster, or like for this particular case is the pandemic. And the learning part is I think they talk about they start to emphasize and included the learning component in meal, because we learn every day. Yes, because we need to avoid to do the same mistakes every day. So that's how they embed this particular component and make up into meal. But for Miss in Malaysia, because of the COVID-19 have made us realize and expanded our work into meal. Other than work with the expertise, please take as much as opportunities when they are reaching you, expose yourself, network through LinkedIn, join network groups, despite online or physical, both, do both, because when you join network groups, like for myself, I joined a Telegram group who have a lot of officers, senior officers, consultant in monitoring and evaluation. So they will share a lot of information, knowledge, resources, training opportunities, and etc. Don't be shy to approach these experts, okay? And hopefully you will gain and grow yourself peripherally. I think that's it to answer
Hajar.
the two questions. Thank you, Nabila.
It is interesting when you mentioned that we need to look out for a mentor in another way, and I believe every one of us in this conversation, when we talk about M&E, and even when we do about M&E, we have someone to look out for in the end of the day. If we want to further more on monitoring, other than having to start somewhere, we still need to have a figure that we look up upon to in this field, so that we know that we are heading, whether it is right, or is it something that we need to rethink. So yes, it's actually good that you mentioned on that, because yes, we do need a mentor that we can rely on too. Thank you, Hajar. Thank you, Monica. Thank you, Sakio. So now we are moving on to the Q&A session. So currently, in before the participant join, we also do ask them questions, and if the current participants in the chat or anyone wants to ask a question to the panelists, please go ahead, put your questions in the chat box. And in before that, we have actually about 7 questions that has been asked. So we can look through from the chat. So there are 7 questions that we asked prior from the Zoom based on our registration form. So these are the 7 questions. So the first one is specific examples or experiences in any country related to effective collaboration between CSO and public sectors in evaluating development outcomes. The second question is how to motivate, evaluate, and inject enthusiasm for evaluation. The third one is, are there any benchmark best practices related to synergy between the CSOs and private sector? The fourth question will be, how can local consultants receive international assignments? Interesting. The fifth one is, what is the most effective strategy in aligning perceptions between government and civil society? And 6th and 7th question is wanting to learn more about evaluation in context of behavior change. And the last one is overview of the Melia, how it works in a bigger picture in any sector where it applies. So maybe we can start with Monica first. Any question that we like address from the chat itself from our participants? So yes, go ahead, Monica. Which question that you would like to answer from the 7 of it?
I think the question number 1 and number 3, it is connecting, right? And then the 1, 3, I can respond 1, 3, and
Sure.
1,
So it's
3,
effective
excellent.
collaboration and the best practices for the CSO and private sector. So yes, go ahead, Monica, if you want to explain more on these questions that been asked from the participants.
Okay. As I mentioned that between the organization or institution have different perspective or different expectation on the evaluations. So how to align or how to collaborate between them? I think we as an evaluators, we need to know we should to know that interest, and then finding the common area of them, or maybe if they are together, working together in the implementations, we can see the coherence, as Hajar mentioned, that it is one of the 6 evaluation criteria by OECD DAC. So when we work together in evaluation, we should consider that things. And how the benchmark or the best practice, how to synergy between CSO and the private sectors. We, as they have different interests, just consider their interest. They will happy if their interest can consider and can address during the process. But as my experience in my last project and in Indonesia, we use a multi-stakeholder forum to hear their voice together. But they come from different interests, different perspective, and different everything. So the how to come up with the common consensus is to openly and transparently share about the interests and expectations. But again, they come from different institutions. It will be different interests and expectations. We can align, but we can merge. We cannot merge, but we can combine and integrating, or we can integrate in the end. And
Monica, if you say that you it better to different stakeholders, different interests. If Indonesia itself have their own national evaluation policies, would the standardized policies is actually going to cater for this type of different interests of stakeholders itself?
We like Sakyo mentioned that we have SDGs, for examples. The SDGs have a set up the same indicators or the same way to report it, but the CSO and between CSO governments and another institution have a different interest. It is reality. They and also as a private sector. Private sector maybe you can focus on the ESG and also the environmental, social, and governance. They reported also in GRI, and so they can contribute. Everyone can contribute in one policy or one structure, but they as evaluators, we need to consider the difference of the interest and the point of view.
All right. Okay. Thank you so much, Monica. For Sakeo, is there any thoughts on the questions that you'd like to address? I mean, it's quite a burning question for some. So yeah, if you feel some of the questions that you would like to answer on that.
Yeah, thank you. I'll perhaps take question number 2, and if I have time, I'll try and respond to question number 1. Acknowledging that I'm no expert in in evaluation. I'm just a young emerging evaluator, having about only 5 years of experience in this space. So I guess that is a great question. How to motivate EvalYouth and inject enthusiasm for evaluation. And that is also a question that we often ask at the secretariat level at EvalYouth Pacific, in terms of how we can accelerate, in terms of how we can make sure that our strategies are able to provide more impact, to do more impact. And so what we've acknowledged is that we did not have any funding, etc., from development partners, and that is what we encourage development partners to support community groups that are working in these spaces, evaluations, and support the capacity development of it, etc. And so what we did is we managed to capitalize on the diversity, on the strengths of our members, and we did put out a call for expression of interest, whoever wants to volunteer looking after our social media accounts, developing content to demystify the concepts and the terminologies related to not only evaluation, monitoring, evaluation, etc. And in terms of, so that is what we are doing. And we are also trying to make sure that we apply, we work hard as a Secretariat of EvalYouth Pacific to apply for grants and organize capacity building, training, etc. that will benefit our members, and that we've been doing that ever since 2019. Last year, we managed to get some grant from the Asia Pacific Evaluation Association, from Eval Indigenous, organize and knowledge sharing events for our members. And we also sent some of our members to attend trainings in Manila, Philippines last year. We mobilized some fundings in partnership with the UNFP Pacific Sub-Regional Office. And we are also working with our elders in this space, people who have been working in this space for a decade, more than decades, and they are doing consultancy work, etc. They are also having their own networks, and we are also linking up ourselves with them to make sure that our members get access to opportunities for growth, for professional and career growth. And in terms of question number, that is my response to question number 2 and the strategies we've been doing. Because in terms of question number 1, a very good question. And in a country, the development, the lead is always with the government. The government has the mandate, and the civil society sort of supplement what the government is doing in terms of serving their communities. And in Fiji, based on my knowledge, I could be stand corrected here. The Fijian government is also involved in something that we call voluntary national review, where they look at their programs and report on their progress in terms of achieving the sustainable development goals. The national development goals, yes, they do reviews and they report in parliament, etc. CSO participate in the submissions to parliament, etc. But in terms of evaluation, the submissions to parliament or the report in the voluntary national review, just a review. There's no national evaluation system in place in order to make sure that we do evaluations. And that is something that we're talking about. Also, the communities at large, not only EvalYouth Pacific, the PGML community of practice, the network, are talking about. And like I said in my earlier sharing, that we are encouraged by the current leaders, national leaders in government, that they are talking about this as well. And changes like this sometimes, because there's complexity to it, like it's a huge task to set up a national evaluation systems. They've been doing monitoring well, reviewing well, and to do that, I think it will take some time. And we are encouraged by what is happening, and slowly we hope that somewhere along down the line there'll be a national evaluation system, national evaluation policy available, national evaluation system, where CSO will also collaborate with public sector to consolidate our evaluation efforts in terms of development. Thank you.
How is it actually so far, the public sector, I mean the ministry itself, are they very open when talking about evaluation, or is it something that they still is a long way to go for them to actually talk about evaluation?
They're talking about evaluations. It's all, if you do a Google search on evaluation in Fiji, you'll see some of the news media articles, our national leaders talking about the importance of evaluation. So that has been promising for us. And also there are other things that needs to be in place. The monitoring aspect of it. We are now fortunate that our Ministry of Finance have re-established the planning and monitoring unit in that sector. And we are also, in the current parliament sitting, we've heard our new Attorney General mention about the importance of having an information act where data information are openly available to the public. And I think our populations are more informed nowadays. They are more educated thanks to the free education, etc. And somewhere down the line, there'll be a national evaluation system. It will be more developed. And since we are developing countries, we are getting there. We're taking the Pacific time, and we are hopeful and we are encouraged that the future is brighter for us.
Yep. Surely, hopefully one day we can see the national policies for PG and the Pacific region. Thanks, Akio. And as last but not least, Hajar, which questions that piques your interest to answer? So yes, any of it that you like to pick?
I can cover question number 4 in number 6.
All right, okay, go ahead.
For number 4, how can local consultants receive international assignments? There are platforms or network hub, which the one that I've joined personally called IC Hub Mel Network, MEL Network. They will advertise anyone who join the network. They can advertise any opportunities for anyone who wants to join or even be an evaluation consultant. So if you join this kind of hub network, they will get this kind of information or regarding any international assignments. And I would like to also add, when we talk about international assignments, they will outline what kind of skills and experiences they would like to review in recruiting that particular position. So like I said, any training, any opportunities you want to join, please you can review you can review first what kind of, you make a list, what kind of skills or experience that you want to have, the capacity needs that you want to have, and how you want to gain that. You can review any advertisement about opening M&E officer. So you review that advertisement. They will outline skills and experience that we are looking for. So review that list, and that's how you know which one, make a checklist, which one you have, which one you are still not having it. So from the gaps, you can know what kind of training actually that you need from there. Like that will also answer question number 6. I want to learn more about evaluation, specifically behavior change. You can find any expertise from for example LinkedIn or any social media who are having this, they have a bunch of experience specifically in behavior change. Talk to that person, he or she, and approach. So that's how you can gain two things that you can gain: the experiences from that person, and also what are the key skills that you need to have in order to gain this kind of experience. They will channel you their own network, who are the people, and they will channel you with the resources, how actually, not just what, but how to actually doing it.
We have in the chat someone asking for the link if you would like to share, Hajar. I think
Okay.
I mean asking for the link of the website itself for the opportunities. All right. Okay, thanks so much, Hajar. I see Hub Mail Network. Yes, that's the website. So if anyone wants to search for new opportunities or anything, can check out the website. And I guess in LinkedIn, most of the time there's a lot of opportunities itself. So Hajar, when talking about opportunities for international consultant like Mercy Malaysia, are you guys particularly looking for international or mostly based like the work in Malaysia itself? when taking up any new opportunities for M&E? Is there any particular even M&E opportunities that you guys in Malaysia doing right now? Yeah.
Okay. For Mercy Malaysia, referring to our footprints. So footprints of project. So whenever we have the project in that particular location, we will do monitoring and evaluation in each of the projects that we have. So it covers not just Malaysia, the region like MENA region, Middle East and North Africa. We have the Europe region, but we are not really active there. Mostly we have our projects active in disaster or response. So like Afghanistan, Pakistan, there will be Southeast Asian region.
All right. Good to know. I think to just like grasp everything, some of it, whatever Hajar has mentioned, Monica or Sakeo, is something that I think we all learned together today. And before we wrap up, I think we just end nicely by 5:31 Malaysia time. And before we wrap, I would like to thank so much to Monica, Sakio, and Hajar for your inputs. And I think we learn a lot in terms of how to integrate youth evaluators in having more attention from the CSO and public. And I feel we are currently, based from this discussion, we're really heavy reliant on CSO and up until now to have more young evaluators to be part of it rather than having the public. So maybe if we even have a national evaluation policies, that might change the whole scene of young evaluators in Malaysia. And the fact that Sakio mentioned that you don't want to speak much as you are considered as young evaluators, there's no such thing. You are considered as a master or not. We are learning, even though later in the 20 go down years on the road, you're in M&E, I think we all should consider that we are still learning, and even to have a new evaluator, we can learn from them. Maybe they have new perspective because they are new generation. So in a way, we all learn from each other, from the guru of M&E to the youngest M&E in the room that we have. So hope what we can learn from today, that we do not just stay right here and there is no more conversation that going to go. We hope that we can stay contact with each other as we are all across any parts of the world here, in terms of the participants and also the speakers. So hopefully we can still be in touch, and then maybe we can see what else that we can help each other in terms of minding the gap, so that young evaluators feel that they are seen, they are heard, and they can achieve what we going to do together, not even in our local context, but also international context. So thank you so much, everyone. And we from EvalYouth Malaysia, we would like to thank you for your participation. And then please join more Youth Innovation Week, because there are more programs throughout the Thursday and Friday. Friday will be the closing ceremony. So tomorrow there'll be more webinars, and today also different across timing. There are also webinars that have been held. So that's all for today. So thank you, everyone, and have a good day ahead. So good night and good evening for those. Thank you.
Thank you. Goodbye, everyone. Thank you for joining. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Yeah,
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Thank you, Amir.
Akak, nanti boleh tolong hantar recording tak?
Boleh, Mira.
Thank you.
Thanks, Nabila.
Thanks, Amir.
We still
Thank
need
you.
to do
Thank you
that
for
drink soon.
joining.
Congratulations on your masters.
I tak habis lagi.
Bukan dah
I
hari
just
tu.
finished only my exam. I'm doing coursework. So it's just the
Oh,
coursework je. Yang macam part menulis tu is this next semester and then I'm done lah.
okay. Nanti
Thanks so
lah.
much,
One
Amir,
of
for
these days, I
joining.
need to reach out to you about your care economy paper. I'm doing the National Family Policy. Dasar
Oh,
Keluarga
dengan
Negara.
UNFPA tu eh?
Yeah. Nanti
Okay,
I'll,
okay.
nanti I'll reach out
We
to you.
we talk more soon. Okay.
Alright.
Alright, thanks,
Bye.
Amir. Okay,
Bye,
bye.
Fatimah.
Bye,
Lama tak nampak
Bye.
juga.
Kan. Thank you for coming.
No worries. Tunjuk support. Okay, bye. I'm sure
Okay,
you guys want to do
bye.
postmortem. I won't kacau.
Thank
Memang
you.
project manager betul ni.
Okay, bye, guys.
Okay, bye.
Bye. I think you
Agak
want to stop recording.